I am 92 years old. I have spent 71 years on the water. I know the sea better than I know my own hands. I can read the clouds before a storm comes. I can feel the tide shift beneath my feet before any instrument warns me. I have survived waves that swallowed entire boats. I have pulled nets in freezing cold when my fingers had no feeling left. The sea never defeated me, but time did. And by the time I understood that, it was already too late. My name does not matter. My village does not matter. What matters is what I am about to tell you, because somewhere out there you are making the same mistake I made every single day, and you don't even know it yet. I thought I was building a life. I was actually building a wall between me and the only person who ever needed me more than the sea did, my son. He was born on a Tuesday morning. I remember because I was supposed to be there. I had planned to be there. But the weather that week was perfect, the kind of weather a fisherman waits months for. Clear sky, calm water, fish running close to the surface. I told my wife, I'll be back before evening. I wasn't. He came into this world without me in the room. I told myself, it's fine. He won't remember this. He's a baby. I will make it up to him. I thought I had time. I was wrong. And that was only the beginning. For the next 4 decades, I kept making the same choice. Every morning, I chose the sea. I told myself it was for the family. I told myself the money was necessary. I told myself a good father provides. A good father works. A good father does not sit idle while fish are waiting. But here is what no one told me. A child does not remember what you provided. A child remembers if you were there. And I was never there. Not really. I was present in the house and sometimes, but I was never present for him. There is a difference. A painful, irreversible difference. I am 92 years old. My hands are still strong. My memory is still clear. And every morning when I sit by this water, and the same water I gave my whole life to, I do not think about the big catches. I do not think about the storms I survived. I do not think about the years of hard work. I think about a little boy standing at the door, watching me walk away, always watching me walk away. My son's name was Tariq. He had his mother's eyes and my stubbornness. Even as a small boy, he was quiet in a way that made you think he understood more than he should. He didn't cry often. He didn't demand much. He would simply watch, observe, wait. I think that was his way of hoping that one morning I would wake up and choose him instead. That morning never came. When Tariq was 6 years old, he asked me to take him fishing. Not on the big boat, just the small wooden one we kept tied near the shallow water. He wanted to sit beside me, hold a line, watch the water the way he always watched me watch it. I said, next week, son. This week I have orders to fill. Next week became next month. Next month became next year. He stopped asking when he was 9. I told myself that was a good sign. I told myself he was growing up, becoming independent. I was proud of that. A boy who doesn't need to be entertained. I thought that meant I had raised him right. I had not raised him at all. His mother raised him, alone, in the same house where I slept, but was never truly awake to what was happening around me. She never complained. Not once. She was a strong woman, the kind of strength that breaks slowly, quietly, where no one can see. She kept the home. She kept Tariq fed and clothed and calm. She told him his father works hard because he loves us. She protected me from my own absence. And I let her, because it was easier to believe that story than to face the truth. When Tariq was 12, he had a school event. Some kind of performance. I don't remember exactly what. A speech, I think. His teacher had told my wife that Tariq had been practicing for weeks, that he was nervous but ready, that he had asked specifically if his father would come. I remember my wife telling me this the night before. I remember nodding. I remember meaning to go. The next morning, the wind shifted. One of my crew members didn't show. The catch from the day before hadn't sold well, and I needed to make up for it. By the time I thought about the event again, it was afternoon. I came home that evening and Tariq was sitting at the table, still in his school clothes. He didn't look angry. That was the worst part. He just looked at me, those quiet eyes, and then looked back down at his food. He had already accepted it. At 12 years old, my son had already accepted that his father would not show up. He had stopped being surprised. I sat down. I ate. I told myself tomorrow I would talk to him. Tomorrow I would explain. Tomorrow I would make it right. But something had already shifted in that house. something invisible, something I would only understand much, much later. Children do not explode when they are hurt. They go quiet, and quiet children grow into distant adults. By the time Tarek was 17, we barely spoke, not because of any fight, not because of any single moment, but because 17 years of small absences had built something between us that felt like glass. You could see each other, but you could not touch. I told myself it was just his age. Teenage boys are like that, I said. They pull away. It's normal. I was lying to myself. And somewhere deep underneath all that work, all that sea, all that pride in what I was building, I knew it. Tarek left at 19. He didn't leave in anger. He didn't slam doors or say cruel things. He packed one bag, kissed his mother on the forehead, and told her he had found work in the city, that he would send money, that he would call. He shook my hand, not a hug, a handshake, the way you say goodbye to someone you respect but do not know. I stood at the door and watched him walk down the road. The same road I'd walked down every morning for decades. The same road he had watched me disappear on since he was old enough to stand at a window. Now it was his turn to disappear, and I had no right to stop him. I told myself he would come back. I told myself this was normal. Young men leave. They find their way. They return when they are ready. I had work to do. The sea was waiting. Life continues. I thought I had time. I was wrong. My wife became ill 3 years later. It happened slowly at first, the way serious things always do. A tiredness that didn't go away, a weight she couldn't explain. By the time we understood what it was, it had already gone deep. She lasted 14 months after the diagnosis. Tariq came back for that. He sat beside her bed every day in those final weeks. He held her hand. He talked to her softly about small things, about memories, about nothing important and everything important at the same time. I watched them from the doorway most nights. I did not know how to enter that room. I had spent so many years being somewhere else that I no longer knew how to simply be present. Even when I was standing still, even when there was nowhere else to go, my body was there, but something inside me, some essential part of being a husband, being a father, had never been properly developed. Because presence is a muscle, and I had never trained it. She passed on a quiet morning in spring. Tariq stayed for the burial. He stayed for 1 week after. He helped with the paperwork, with the neighbors, with the things that needed doing. He was calm and organized and kind. And then he shook my hand again, and he left again. I stood in that house, the house she had kept alive for 40 years, and I heard the silence for the first time. Real silence, not the silence of the sea, which always has sound beneath it, but the silence of a life where you have systematically removed every person who loved you, not through cruelty, but through absence, through always choosing something else, through always believing there was more time. That night I sat in the chair by the window, the same window Tariq used to stand at as a boy. And I finally understood what he had been looking for all those years. He wasn't watching the road. He was watching for me. Every single morning, that small boy stood at that window hoping that today would be different, hoping that today his father would turn around, would come back inside, would sit down and simply be there. I never turned around. Not once in all those years did I turn around. And sitting in that chair, in that silence, at whatever age I was then, 60 something, 70 something, the years blur when grief hits you, I felt something crack open in my chest that has never fully closed since. It was not sadness exactly. It was the specific pain of understanding something too late, the kind of understanding that helps no one. Not him, not her, not me. The truth had arrived. But the people who needed me to know it were already gone. Let me tell you what I know now, not what I believed, not what I told myself, not the stories I used to sleep at night. What I actually know after 92 years of living, after 71 years on that water, after one marriage, one son, and more mornings alone than I can count. Here is the truth that took me a lifetime to find. The sea did not need me. It was there before I was born. It will be there long after my bones are gone. Every fish I ever caught was replaced by another. Every wave I ever read moved on without me. The sea did not mourn my absence on the days I was sick. It did not celebrate my presence on the days I was strong. The sea simply continued, as it always does, But my son, Tariq, he needed me. In that specific window of time that childhood is, that small, irreversible window that opens once and closes forever, he needed me and I was not there. Not because I was a bad man, not because I did not love him, but because I believed a lie that this world tells every working man and woman who will listen. The lie is this: providing is the same as loving. It is not. Providing is necessary. I do not deny that. Food, shelter, safety, these things matter. But they are the floor. They are the minimum. They are what you owe a child simply for bringing them into the world. Presence is something else entirely. Presence is sitting beside a 12-year-old boy at a school event, even when the wind is perfect and the fish are running. Presence is turning around on that road just once and walking back inside because your son is standing at a window and he needs to see that he matters more than the catch. Presence is choosing again and again the people over the purpose. I chose the purpose every time. I called it dedication. I called it responsibility. I called it love even. It was none of those things. It was fear. I was afraid of stillness, afraid of sitting in a room with no task, no goal, no measurable result. The sea gave me something to do every single day. It gave me a problem to solve, a challenge to overcome, a reason to feel capable and strong and necessary. My son just gave me love, and I did not know what to do with love that asked nothing of me except to be present. So I left every morning. I left. And I told myself, later, we will connect later, when he is older, when the season is done, when the money is stable, when things slow down. Later never came. Later never comes. This is what I need you to understand. Whoever you are, whatever age you are, whatever it is that pulls you away from your children, your partner, your parents, the people who are quietly waiting for you. Later is a lie we tell ourselves to make the leaving feel temporary. It is not temporary. Every day you are absent is a day that is gone, permanently, completely. No amount of money, success, achievement, or regret can reach back into time and fill it. The child who waited for you at 6 years old is not waiting at 16. They have already learned to stop waiting. And the saddest part, the part that stays with me in every quiet morning I have left, is that they do not even blame you. Tariq never blamed me. That is not mercy. That is damage. When a child stops blaming a parent who was never there, it is not because they have forgiven. It is because they have accepted their own smallness. They have quietly decided that they were not worth turning around for. That is what my absence taught my son. Not strength, not independence, not resilience. It taught him that he was less important than the sea. And I, his father, I was the one who taught him that. With my footsteps, every single morning, walking away, I thought I was building his future. I was slowly, quietly, invisibly breaking something in him that should never have been touched. No catch was worth that. No season. No storm survived. No record broken. No net filled. Nothing I ever pulled from that water was worth one morning I could have spent sitting beside my son and letting him know. You are the reason. You have always been the reason. I know that now. I knew it too late. I am 92 years old. I wake up every morning and I sit by this water, not to fish anymore. My body will not allow that now. I sit here because this is where my life happened. This is where I spent myself. Every hour of strength I ever had, I gave it to this water. And the water gave me nothing back. Not one memory that warms me. Not one morning that I would trade for an hour with my son. Not one catch, not one perfect tide, not one storm survived. That means anything to me now when the nights are long and the house is empty and the silence has a shape. Tariq calls. Sometimes we speak carefully, politely, like two people who share a history but not a closeness, like neighbors who have always been kind to each other but never truly entered each other's homes. He is a good man. He built a good life. He has children of his own now, my grandchildren, and I have met them only a few times. They are polite to me. They call me grandfather, but I am not real to them. I am an old man their father visits out of duty and love. Yes, the love is still there, I believe that, but it is a love built around absence, a love that learned to survive without being fed. That is what I left him with. Love that knows how to survive alone. And now I want to speak to you. not as a story, not as a lesson from a distance. Directly, clearly, the way I wish someone had spoken to me when I was young and strong and certain that I had all the time in the world. You do not have time. Whatever age you are right now, you do not have as much time as you think. The years do not slow down. They accelerate. What feels like a long road ahead of you is not as long as it appears. And the people walking beside you or waiting for you at home, they are not waiting forever. Children grow. They grow whether you are present or not. They do not pause their childhood while you finish your work. They do not hold their most important moments for when you are available. They live, they feel, they form their understanding of the world and of themselves, of their own worth, right now, today. In the ordinary moments you keep deciding are not urgent enough. Those moments are the most urgent moments of your life. Not the meeting, not the project, not the season, not the deal. The moment your child looks up and checks, is my father watching? Is my mother here? Do I matter enough to be witnessed? That moment, that is the one that shapes everything that comes after. I miss thousands of those moments, thousands, and I cannot name a single thing I caught in this sea that was worth even one of them. So hear me. If you are a parent, go home, not later. Now, sit on the floor with your child. Watch what they are doing. Ask them what they are thinking. Let them show you something you do not understand and pretend that it is the most fascinating thing you have ever seen, because one day you will realize it was. If you are building something, a business, a career, a legacy, remember that the people around you are not the reward you receive after you succeed. They are the point. They were always the point. Everything else is just the reason you told yourself to keep going. If you are waiting for the right time to slow down, stop waiting. The right time is always now. The slowing down that you keep promising yourself never happens on its own. You have to choose it against the pull of everything else, against the voice that says just a little more, just one more season, just until things settle. Things do not settle. Life does not pause. And one morning, I promise you this, one morning you will sit somewhere quiet and you will count what you actually have, not what you built, not what you earned, not what you survived, what you have. Who is there? Who calls? Who still looks for you? And if that number is smaller than it should be, you will understand too late what I understand now. I am 92 years old. The sea is still here. My son is somewhere far away. And every morning I sit by this water and I whisper the same thing into the wind, hoping somehow, across all that distance, he can feel it. I should have turned around. You were always worth turning around for. I am sorry it took me a lifetime to know that. Don't make my mistake. Don't let the thing that drives you become the thing that empties you. Turn around while you still can, while they are still at the window, while there is still time to be the parent, the partner, the person you always meant to be. Turn around.